range power spike ADs.
That's right. So, time to get in picks and bans for Ever versus Spenu game number 2. The sides have been swapped. Ever on blue side and Spenu over on the red side. Now, Totoro, Blitzcrank is one of his top champions. And I wonder if he's played any games since the patch where the W got nerfed.
I'm going to go with yes. He's probably played some video games since then.
Well, I mean, not, you know what I mean, Blitzcrank. don't you be like that.
I'm
going to
be like
thing,
that.
now this. Jeez. Gangplank ban. Azir ban.
Are you not used to oppositional co-casters, Noah?
No.
Monty's pretty belligerent himself.
No, Monty always agrees with everything I say. Come on.
That's true.
Come on. We know how he is.
Unfortunately,
I'm never wrong.
The Saltwater Scourge is banned away again. No Gangplank.
Yep.
I remember that for some reason.
If they make a like a pirate seafaring Zac skin, would he be Saltwater Taffy then?
You nailed that one. That was good.
Bilgewater opportunity missed, Riot. Sorry. Alistar ban against Secret. Well, I mean, it's a great champion for him. He's proved that over the last season, that's for sure. Echo ban against Ever, just like it was last game. So far, from the bans from Spenu, identical to game number 1.
I want to see some Kalista. That's what I'd like to see. Kalista was slipping through quite frequently in the drafts yesterday on 5-15. Well, finally, we're starting to see more and more champions kind of creep into the ban list. Specifically, 5-16, we're going to see the likes of Darius, Garen, Skarner all be considered for bans. So we might see plenty of Kalista at that point. Yeah, as you mentioned, a blue side Victor ban. That's a bit of a curious one.
Yeah, interesting. You may find this surprising, but Loken actually has listed Kalista as one of his preferred AD carry champions. Huh, who knew?
I feel like Ever's preferred champions, and I guess Floors as well, are basically the meta. Yeah. Maybe they didn't explain the preferred term very well.
I'm just waiting for Ever to sub in their other top laner, Hamburger. I have a player named Hamburger.
Is it really named Hamburger?
Yeah, well, look at the sheet.
I'm going to have a look. They really do.
Yep.
He's even got creative caps, HBR, Hamburger.
Hamburger.
So Lulu was banned away.
Pick, yeah.
Take it as first pick over Kalista, despite the fact that they're changing up their bottom lane. The bottom lane that really was when they were focusing on protect the AD carry comps. Lulu usually suggests one thing, and that's a hyper carry from the AD carry role.
I mean, Loken does also play a lot of Jinx, a lot of Vayne, so it's not too surprising to see that Lulu pick. It was banned by Ever in game number 1 against Spenu.
We saw from CJ Entus when they played most recently how much value Space got out of Jinx. He brought the Jinx back. It was really rocking around, fast pushing turrets. Jinx still has a lot of value, so it will be a consideration. Probably not going to see AD carry locked in this round, given the fact that they're trying to hide a potential hyper carry, but definitely strong meta picks. No Kalista, though, in the first 2 rounds of a draft is pretty crazy.
It is interesting. The Braum pickup by Spenu is pretty good, prevents things like the Ashe and all that. Suppose it hurts the Jinx pick as well. Are we going to see maybe this Kalista Kennen lane? Or Lucian Kennen's fine too.
It's surprising to see them pick a 2v2 lane when they've already picked a Lulu, more supportive, either top lane or mid lane, depending on what they want to do. Kennen, of course, is probably the strongest laning duo support, so Lucian Kennen would be lane power.
I'd love to see the Jarvan. Or not the Jarvan, the Garen.
It's still not time, though. It's not 5-16.
I guess not. They're going to take Nidalee, looks like, for JG Ryan. No, it's Lee Sin yet again. He had, one good kick, I suppose, last game, but he also had a pretty off mechanical play with the Lee Sin kick attempt. So, I don't know. Lee Sin 2 games in a row, a little bit worrying to see out of Ryan, I think.
It wasn't the mechanical play that let me down so much, the fact that he was heavily behind in CS, which is fine in a Lee Sin versus Nidalee matchup, but the fact that he had stronger lanes, earlier power spikes in his lanes, meant that that trade-off in CS should have been at the cost of getting a lot of invasion done, getting some really good ganks up, and he wasn't really able to take advantage of the power mismatch there was between him and Nidalee in the previous game. So he really needs to make it work, and Lulu and Thresh is the start of some pick champions to really empower Lee Sin to get the ganks done.
Yeah, definitely. Spenu does not appear to be intimidated, though. They're going to go for the Orianna. Looks like they might lock in that Vayne once again for Nuclear.
The no rush comp.
Yep, that's right. The play it safe because your spot in the tournament is on the line.
I mean, it worked in game 1, and there was no evidence that Ever can really push a team. It didn't happen in the Challenger League. They played very long, drawn-out games about protecting for their AD carry. And when you see Lulu, Thresh, and Lee Sin, 3 champions with disengage, you're expecting a very similar flavor of comp to come through.
Yeah.
And a Kog'Maw, it's about as obvious a Kog'Maw lock as ever.
See, now SBE's Sonic Boom is starting to live up to the Guile reputation, right? Just holding back, block, 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 and then forward, and then you hit it with the Sonic Boom. The combo, the kicks maybe.
I knew you were going to work in Sonic Boom reference. Let's wait till they win, though. When they 3-0, Sonic Booms are plenty.
That was more of a Street Fighter reference, really.
True.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Ari could be picked up by Athena. It is a champion that he does play quite a bit.
They've hidden the fact of whether this Lulu is going to be top or mid. You know, obviously, Lulu versus Orianna would just be wave clear wars. They're going with something with a bit of mid lane threat. They had 2 options. They're going to settle on the Diana. This is very intriguing. Are we still going to see teleport Diana? Because running a Juggernaut comp with double teleport when positioning is so important for multiple threats might be a bit of a headache to run forever.
I think I really like the Yasuo pick here if they decide to go with that. You've got 3 knockups outside of Yasuo, so you've got everybody except for Vayne knocking people up. So, could be good. No, it's not 5:16 yet.
No, it's not Tryndamere time.
No. Well, sometimes it's Tryndamere time. If you just want to split push like crazy, and they have a pretty good, you know, split push with Tryndamere, everybody else stays safe and like blocks the siege, I could see it.
It's not Tryndamere time, though.
I don't think so, but I could see it being Tryndamere time, maybe.
Will they
I
go?
like the Yasuo. I want to see the Yasuo.
The Rise would be the ultimate disrespect bait. It would be scaling in every lane.
Yeah. Oh, Shen. Okay.
Okay, this is much safer, I think, going for Shen, although he's going to be heavily outpushed by Lulu. In fact, it's the same situation, Doa. We're expecting Lulu to have a big pushing advantage in top. Okay, Diana's not going to have the lane control against Orianna until level 6 and then really overtakes that lane. But it's another situation where if Lee Sin gets going, this game can go the way of Ever. But the late game teamfight should be super crazy given the fact it's late game power spikes abound.
You know, I suppose too with Shen, you give yourself an opportunity to fight back against the double globals from the top and mid forever in that Shen. He only has 1 teleport himself, but he also has his ultimate, so it's sort of 1 champion with 2 globals in that case. So I like the pick. It still provides split pushing power as well later on in the game.
There's not many answers to a true 1-3-1, though, if that does come up. But as you mentioned, Shen, when you only have 1 pick to deal with what develops as double teleport, it's the most you're really going to get in 1 pick.
Yeah, definitely. Unless you go for top Nocturne.
The dream.
They could have gone top Rek'Sai and then switched to a different jungler, but they didn't. So, SBE looking for the 2-0. Can they get it over Ever? Let's get in the game and see if Ever can tie it up. And we're back. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Big cheer for SBE's Sonic Boom. And Ever actually gets a decent cheer as well, too. Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, they're finding their voice in game 2. This is where the Dark Wars fell off in terms of fan cheer, so nice to see. Fans.
Well, if you look at game number 1, you're like, oh, they were so close. They nearly got the pressure on that they needed to, but I don't know.
Are we still talking about the cheer?
From where we're sitting, yeah, maybe. From where we're sitting, I feel like it wasn't that close after all.
I don't think it was either, Doa.
But maybe from that side.
They certainly got something different with the double globals this time, and of course, you know, a purely different bottom lane. It's a bit crazy to see them wholesale change their bottom lane.
Well, they needed something different. What they tried in game 1 really did not work at all. So, can they win by switching things up? I think it's a good idea. I think you might as well give it a try. It is a best of 5. You've got a little bit more room for flexibility.
The team fighting is pretty intense. It might not actually be a Juggernaut comp in terms of execution. You can obviously see the potential for it with all the disengage.
Yeah.
But putting that ult onto Lulu, from Lulu onto the Diana to really dive in as the Moonfall into, say, a knock-up, and then really scraps so well with the Nashos too. It picks up attack speed to keep proccing that passive. This might be a teamfight comp where Diana dives in, she's the one that gets all the utility, and it's more about a backline Kog'Maw rather than a frontline Kog'Maw, which is the true story in a Juggernaut comp.
Yeah. We're starting to see these hyper carries pushed more to the back line now, aren't we? I mean, there's not with all the hard engage coming in from a lot of teams, it's tough. Wow, and that's how these guys would look if they were on that one cartoon with like Hank Hill. I can't remember the name of it for some reason right now.
You're thinking of King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, right? It's in the character's name, isn't it? Yeah. So there's the team drawn as King of the Hill characters.
I almost said King of Queens, but that's a different comic.
That is not even a cartoon.
Nope.
Oh well.
You can understand the name confusion, but nailed it that time. And it's just one of those things where, just to come back to Juggernaut, you look down this Spenu lineup, their backline threat, it's much less than it was in Game 1. There's no Malphite Oriana here.
Yeah.
It's only really Shen as a ball carrier, Rek'Sai, I guess, but not ideal either.
Vayne, man, you can just tumble right in there.
And we've seen it before. We've seen situations, specifically in the LPL, where Imp was just overextending so much on Kog'Maw that he was more of a ball carrier than necessarily a backline damage threat. But the reason why Juggernaut existed was that, think about the previous season when there was so much backline threat. The champions like Hecarim were running around. Backline threat was everywhere. So you put enough shields on an AD carry, put them in the front line, and it really takes away the effectiveness of backline threat. In this game where the backline threat is already minimal, just put the ball on, just put the utility onto Diana, have her be a true front line, and just have Kog'Maw in the backline, just like it was 2012 all over again.
We had a little bit of support following from Totoro for JG Ryan, and they were actually able to steal the Raptors from Spenu's side of the map. Looks like Spenu's going to go ahead and respond by stealing that red buff.
It's been some really interesting pathing in general from both teams. You can tell that Ever's gone for the lane swap as Kog'Maw's in the top lane.
I foresee a large dive happening in bot lane.
Yep, this is...
Totoro's going to sniff it out, though. Crazy play could still be in trouble. They've got that Tremor Sense. They know where he is. Will they try the 2v4? Doesn't look like they will.
No, Totoro responding. It's a good response there. With all the information presented, it did look like a very obvious dive. So Soul has to back away. Probably going to teleport to lane, and the freeze is on from Kog'Maw. It opened up the roam from Totoro. I thought it was pretty nice early pathing from Ever in general.
Yeah, I agree. I think we noticed a big difference in terms of the map movement early on. This team initially seems to have things together a little bit more tightly, maybe. Hard to say, though. Pretty small sample size, of course.
Just want to see JG Ryan vindicate the Lee Sin pick. This is the most jungle pressure you can pick, short of maybe an Elise. And, you know, in skirmish trades, Lee Sin hits his abilities first. He will win those trades against Elise in a 1v1 pure sense. So a lot of jungle power coming through. He just played a very passive game in Game 1, and I want to see him really take this game by the horns, because the passivity really hurt a team that needed to hit their power spikes early, like Ever in Game 1.
Yeah. Nuclear and Secret pushed back just a bit by crazy play here in the bot lane. Nuclear not a whole lot to worry about, though, as he kind of wants that lane pushed back anyway. Keeps him a bit safer.
Not much Shen can do to do any pressure in the top, so it's going to be free farm for Kog'Maw, which is never something you want to opt into. Rek'Sai spent a lot of time down bot. There's a heavy push coming in. Will Ever get too optimistic for harass damage? That's the question. They have no vision in this area.
Yeah. Oh, Flow is there, or Flaw rather is there. We could see a 3v2. Totoro and Crazy Play really playing it risky here. When's it going to happen? Maybe they think there's a jungler there. Spenu, I feel like they've got an opportunity, but they just don't know where Ryan is at the moment. Makes it a bit too dangerous. Flow waiting, or Flaw rather. Why do I keep doing that? He's waiting such a long time. Oh, it's time. They're going to come in right now. The flash, there's a flash knock upon to Totoro. Totoro slowed down. No more summoners. They're going after it. Looks like First Blood should almost certainly go over to Spenu, and it will go to Rek'Sai. Flaw picks that one up. And Spenu with a solid gank in the bot lane. Teleport will bring Athena back to his lane quickly, not losing any CS or experience there.
We talked about problems in target selection in Game 1. The target selection there was super, super smart, despite the fact that Lulu was looking very tasty, being the closer threat to get. Remember, the Lantern still existed, so they were smartly chose Thresh as the person to take down. That's why Flaw flashed afterwards. And it's just smart initiation by Flaw, and this is their new jungler, and he's making good decisions already on the big stage.
He is. He's looking much, much better than what we saw from Catch. And honestly, Catch was such a large amount of the problems that Spenu had to deal with in this last season that this could be the beginning. I mean, if they continue to improve up the offseason, of a much stronger Spenu team coming into 2016, if, of course, they win the best of 5 today.
It's already a massive vote in confidence by the management to put him in this do-or-die game. They obviously joined the team much later, but whether it's been scrim results, whether it's been just his teammates vouching for him, to step in to the booth at this point after a massively long regular season, only now getting the nod and putting in already 1-bit games of solid performance, that's already credit to Flora and his mindset coming into competitive play.
I mean, it sounds a bit harsh to say this, but Catch genuinely was nothing more than a liability for this team. He really was.
Tell us how you really feel, though.
That's the thing. It's like, I honestly, in casting 3 years of champions in Korea, he could be the worst jungler I've ever seen.
I don't think that's fair. There was some bad junglers.
Name one worse than Catch.
Let me know
when you get one.
The Team Dark jungler, maybe?
We're not going to count teams that were disqualified. Shockwave used. Saucin gets grabbed by that Death Sentence. Totoro, there we go. There's a Shockwave. Totoro brought in as well. Another kill onto him. Ryan on the run. Teleport used by Crazy Play to come down, but wasn't able to make anything happen. No level 6, so no wild growth. Meanwhile, Soul, he's got his ultimate. Comes down with the Stand United. And Spenu with 2 early kills, and they jump out to a decent gold lead.
It's always going to be superior to react to a teleport with the Stand United, give that extra shield, 250 shield onto your teammate, and even still have that summon spell on a much longer cooldown still available. So nice reaction from Soul. The kill credit again goes to Floor, but if he continues to make smart decisions on the reg side, maybe that's not as much of a problem as we might at first thought.
Well, pretty decent lead early on for Spenu here in game number 2, and if this team gets rolling quickly, I think we may have a little bit shorter of a game on our hands. Oh, Secret found out by Totoro and Loken. He's going to clear that ward before backing away. They're going to get the pink ward. Oh, no, they won't. Wow.
Must have a 6th sense. I believe maybe Rek'Sai was spotted out with the ward on the ramp right there. I
think you're right. I mean, there were pings that went down immediately from Spenu. They know where there probably is going to be a ward.
New Age Cogmore build coming through from Loken. I've been seeing a lot of this in scrims, and recently we've seen Bilgewater Cutlass, and in general the Blade the Ruin King first. Gives you that lifesteal, makes that laning phase much more reliable, but you lose out on the 1-item power spike. Comparing, say, a Sheen first to a Bilgewater first, your trade damage with the Sheen is crazy, and with the Bilgewater you're going for a much more defensive choice, but arguably more reliable.
Yeah. It's interesting to see. I mean, as AD carries have to be more self-sufficient in a world where there's so much engage.
Well, in a world where your support loves to pack up and roam most of the time. It's Thresh,
that's true too.
One of the prototypical roaming supports, so having that extra lifesteal, and theoretically, the slow on the active might get them away and just allow their support. Unleash the Totoro, because that's what the team wants to do.
Unleash the Totoro.
Unleash the Totoro.
That's right. He is not your friend anymore.
Still your neighbor, though.
He's going to be the neighbor that comes over and, like, kills you if he gets mad. Like, your dog barks too much. He's like, neighbor Totoro's coming to get you. That's right. I know I was talking like a professional wrestler announcer there or something, or a professional wrestler in general. Totoro's coming to get you this Sunday at the Metrodome.
Sounds like the Scottish Randy Savage.
Really? Scottish Randy Savage. All right. My lesser-known characters.
There's always room to grow, ever. But still very much in this game. It's only a 500 gold lead. Again, all the kill gold, and a lot of the gold difference is going to be on their jungler. And when it's Rek'Sai, a champion who, in the late game, only really acts as a tanky body and as a disrupting champion. It's pretty ideal from an Ever perspective if you're going to fall into such a hole.
Well, looks like that's what's happening already. Secret drops a ward as the old one dies. Oh, misses that Q. Goes up to shield. Athena doing a little bit of damage, but not much. Totoro trying to be a neighbor to his mid laner, but not really able to make a play there. Yeah, the warding in general was a little bit rough in the early stages of the last game, but it seems a bit more tight in game 2. Secret is trying here. Whoa, gets hooked, gets in trouble. Flow is flaws right there as well too. Nuclear backs away. Teleport comes down for Soul, using that Stand United to get there for his team. Nuclear picks up a kill. Nice double knockup from Rek'Sai. Flaw making plays with that flash. They didn't get any kills off of it, but they should be able to maybe do some damage to the turret.
Ever showing another weakness in their gameplay. They're not playing around the fact that Soul was always going to have the teleport advantage over Crazy Play. Crazy Play is still waiting on that timer, still about 45 seconds away from having his own counter teleport. You needed to get out of that engage the moment that you saw that Speno was going to stand up and fight, and the result is padding the stats once again, and this time the kill credit goes on to a real carry.
Crazy Play. Really should not have stuck around that long with no mana.
You got a bit too excited about a Shen solo kill.
Yeah, Soul, he teleported for that one. I don't know if that was really worth it, but...
It's more about keeping the turret up. Felt very, very low in the exchange. Of course, Lulu got free hits while he was gone. And
it's about sending a message.
Yep.
Yeah, just like ninjas do. Something flashy and memorable.
I saw some very flashy ninja play, but that was interpretive cosplay.
That was Monty and I, that's right. Yep. Your two Shens.
We don't even see Trinity Forces from the Shens anymore. When Shai brought that champion back late in the summer season, he was building damage, but then he gave up on it, and sadly, so did everyone else.
Oh.
I still miss the days of the PDD Yomu's Ghostblade Shen. The best days.
Those are the best days? I miss the days of Mad Life Blitzcrank, man. Those were the best days.
They'll be back.
Will they?
Yep.
I don't know if Mad Life or Blitzcrank will ever be back.
All-Stars is coming, Doa.
No, I mean in competitive play.
All-Stars is coming, Doa.
Did I stutter? Oh, Nina coming in onto Sawson. Sawson not really too worried, but he is fairly low mana, though.
Still has both summoners. Not really worried about any sort of engage. This would have been one of the rare times this game where Soul couldn't react. No teleport, no stand united, but confident enough to stand up and take the damage from Athena.
You know, the problem when you throw that like boomerang thing at Orianna is that it just goes right through the middle of her and doesn't hit anything. She's got like that floating torso for some reason.
It's true.
Oh, first turn of the game does go over to Ever, and they actually take a tiny little gold lead out of that.
I mean, it's to be expected. It's one of those situations where Lulu does magic damage, so you feel pressured into building the Spectre's Cow, delays your Sunfire, and even your Balmy Cinder to the point. But by the time that you get some wave clear, turret's already gone.
Yep. True enough. You're really not going to have a lot of wave clear with Shen, that is for sure.
Crab walking, though.
That's right. We practiced that crab walk.
I'm just watching it now, thinking about just a week ago. I'm really excited about the late game situation here.
Are you?
The previous game I wasn't, because it was so one-sided in terms of scaling, but in this situation, there's a lot of variables to talk about in the late game. Double teleport, specifically a split-pushing Diana with Nationals too, with Zhonya's ready to team fight, but a strong split-pushing threat is always an intriguing prospect, and Spenu have the Shen for teleports, but it's still the same core, it's still the Vayne Orianna. So in a much more even foothold, a team like Ever, okay, maybe not as good a team as Spenu because they are in that Challenger League, they have had less opportunity for top scrim options. It's still a team that's used to playing Protect the AD carry against a team that's really solidified late game scaling as their win condition against their challenger opponents. So with different win conditions in the late game, but still a similar level of scaling, we could actually see the Titanic fights that we were really denied by Champ Select in Game 1.
Yeah, we certainly might. We can always hope.
It's good to be hopeful.
That's right. It's all not taking a lot of damage anymore.
If you believe in something, it comes true. Hashtag free Doa.
No, it doesn't.
Hashtag free
Oh,
Doa.
that did. But other things don't. Don't get too excited. I mean, you can be optimistic, but be realistic.
Ever the realist.
That's right. That's why I like realism in painting as well, too.
Really?
Yeah. I do. What do you know?
I know wave clear wars, Doa. I've seen plenty of them today.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this amazing 1v1 between Shen and Lulu. So much damage.
Magic flying about, unbridled, uncontrolled. A menace to everyone. Oh, speaking of a menace, Logan has to take the Lantern out. He's in danger of getting stunned through the Braum passive, those concussive blows. Gotta be careful.
Wave clear and top. This is where Crazy Player really starts to pad out his damage dealt to champions. He just auto-attack Shen for the majority of the laning phase.
Yep, a nice taunt by Soul. Wow, getting a decent amount of damage done to Crazy Play. Gotta be careful, though. That Lulu can still pack a punch.
Rod of Ages Lulu, we didn't mention this, so
yeah.
In a game of late game scaling, adding a Rod of Ages to Lulu just increases that. This would have been unthought of in the true Juggernaut meta, where you needed to get a Morellonomicon, CDR boots, and then just have your CDR ready to be basically a tool for your AD carry to make those late game team fights work, to really extend or accelerate the power curve of a champion like Kog'Maw. But now in this situation where honestly it becomes a little bit more about the Diana than the Kog, unless we get to say 5-6 item territory, you can go for the Rod of Ages, and it means you can position so much more aggressively, because now you can be Lulu, you can not even look to dodge this Orianna ultimate, but you don't die to burst because you have that larger health pool from the Rod of Ages.
Right. Looks like Flaw might be trying to set up a gank here. They will see Ryan come into the river brush. No, he's actually going for lane gank. Looking at the mini-map right now.
Lane gank Rek'Sai's not really a thing that works, but...
Oh, I mean lane gank for Ryan, rather. Rek'Sai's trying to come in from the jungle, which is a thing that works.
True.
But he's backed off. Went for the Gromp instead.
Get into the Gromp.
Yep. He got there. Take the Gromp.
Waiting for some semblance of fights. Honestly, there's been no dragon in the first 17 minutes.
Oh,
so.
they see Flaw. Ryan spotted as well. But yeah, I mean, for a game that had really early dragons taken last time, no dragon by 1740. Pretty interesting.
We had 2 in 11.5 minutes in game 1.
Yeah. Well, basically every time it was up, somebody was going after it quickly.
Looking like you can really throw a 5th dragon win condition out the door, even if it was taken in the next minute. You're talking about 48 minutes into the game. It was a long game 1, but even that didn't go 48 minutes.
SBE going for this dragon. Is there any way that ever can take it? Maybe they can snipe it with this Kog'Maw. They're going to try. Nope, not quite. Nice smite from Flaw, and that's going to give the first dragon of the game over to SBE.
So Eva's playing around their positions of power because Lulu has so much pressure onto basically the inner turret and the top wave. As a kick flash does come off.
I guess so. Saucin able to flash back, though, before getting in any sort of trouble from Athena.
That is definitely a spot where Saucin cannot go the top side. Speaking of the bottom side.
Oh, flash ultimate goes after Totoro. Loken, double knockup as he takes the Lantern back in. A lot of damage coming in, but Secret backing away. Oh, the Athena comes in with the teleport kill. Flash for Crazy Play, goes after Nuclear. Nuclear pushing him back with that Condemn. Flaw gets flayed, and Flaw could be in big trouble. Yes, he will go down. A kill for Loken. And a pretty good fight already for Ever. They're going to go after Saucin now. Ryan's still there. Nuclear slowed by Crazy Play's Glitter Lance. That's a sentence that a human being just said, guys. Wow.
Crazy that Soul could not find a spot to use Stand United or the teleport. The first kill, okay, couldn't avert it. Felt like he could have tried to help out Flaw, chose not to. And the flow-on effect is going to be this mid lane turret.
Yeah, I guess so. Ever taking a pretty nice little early lead now, up to 2K ahead.
Wow, it's going to be a second turret as well, as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff, and this was just SBE not respecting the fact that it was double teleports, both available from Ever, and their single teleport. Okay, he's got 2 of them, but not reacting from Soul lost them so much map pressure.
Yeah, now a 3,000 gold lead at 19 minutes. Pretty solid stuff for Ever coming into it, and they're starting to get pretty scary, honestly.
I mean, out of nowhere, all 3 outer turrets down, just off the back of 1-1 team fight. Of course, Lulu had hers prepared much earlier, just trying to chunk out and punish Soul for making the roams, but the immediate gold goes to Ever, and when you both have late game scaling, that can actually be pretty big factor.
Yeah. Well, SBE's going to respond with the turret of their own down at bot lane. We'll see if they can take it. Looks like they'll barely get it. Yep, they will. Lantern brings in JG Ryan, and there's a double knockup. This is a bit dangerous to do as Totoro finds out. It's taken down. I'm not exactly sure what they were thinking there. Crazy Play and Loken were still a ways off. Soul comes in, onto Ryan for the taunt. Uses Stand United to come down for that one. Looks like they'll back away, though. So an answering kill. They do catch up a bit in the gold.
They have a lot of wave clear from multiple members. Athena does decent wave clear with the Q. Of course, Lulu and Kog'Maw can do their job as well. So it's a situation where Athena, he finally has the Nashor's Tooth on Diana. It's on Ever to find the lane assignments that really let them pressure with the 1-3-1. You already saw that Lulu was having a free time against Shen pushing in. Diana can do the same thing, and there's no one to answer the second split push, barring arguably Rek'Sai, but then you don't have your smite and objective. Playing the smart 1-3-1 could blow this game open forever.
Yeah, we'll see. Forever until the very end of time.
Forever and ever
I see.
in the second game of this series.
SBE trying to fight back in the Vision War as the blue buff gets handed over to Athena. They're going to try to push this mid lane as well. And they've got a great position on it. Can they take it out quickly enough? Ever coming in, they may want to fight this. Turret getting lower, Athena right there. And they're going to take it. So answering back, only one turret down now for SBE, and they've more or less caught up in gold.
It seemed like really good timing from SBE to just barrel down mid. The moment that the blue buff spawned from Athena, he was out of position, couldn't get to the mid lane fast enough. And despite the fact that they have Lulu, Diana, and to a lesser extent Kog'Maw, a very quick, smart rotation gets SBE some more answering global gold. Now they're only a single turret behind.
Yeah, they did a really good job of taking advantage of that. And we'll see if they can continue it. Again, it's a situation, too, where despite any sort of leads ever might get, if it goes to the later stages of the game, SBE can kind of just wait for that mistake. You know, usually they're on the receiving end of that kind of play style from a lot of other teams in the league, but this time around, they're the veterans.
They finally got this situation they want, and what you want to do often is to have your duo lane in mid that gives your support the most access to the enemies, both sides of the enemy jungle to roam and put down wards. Kog'Maw gets relatively safe farm. Of course, with the turret going down, it's a little bit less safe, but should be fine mostly. And you set up that split push from Diana. Diana's going to be split pushing on the bottom side of the map. Her teleport's not up. In fact, neither teleports are up, so it's kind of not a factor either way, but 1-3-1, that is the lane assignment that will get Ever the most benefit in this situation.
Yep, that appears to be the plan. A minute until the next dragon comes up. And fifth dragon, really not a big possibility for either one of these teams this game. It would just take way too long.
You just want to pick up your 6% stats and everything after that's a bonus. Of course, 6%, the extra move speed, 5% move speed might be on the table for one of these teams towards the 30-minute mark, but for now, posturing around, I guess it's finally a spot for fighting, and you look at the item completions, we finally see Trinity Force and by the Ruin King completed for Kog'Maw. I actually like the team fight power that Ever's really put together with these 2-item spikes.
Yeah, I think you can say Athena's definitely in a stronger position than Sasin right now as well.
Completed items versus recipes, or just the component parts of a death cap, you're definitely given the advantage. So Rek'Sai ult's channeled. This could be a contest from Ever.
Yeah, we'll see if SBE tries to go for a bit of a flank here. They're going to try to chase people away. Only a couple members of Ever there. Oh, the Q misses from Secret, though. Not able to get any sort of stun off onto JG Ryan.
Need to make sure they stick wards. They have good flank wards for the Diana to come in on, so Diana can just split push down bot. Both teleports are up. Everything is up from Sol. In fact, every summoner spell is up. So I'm looking forward to a cataclysmic fight.
Oh, teleport coming in. Oh, canceled by Crazy Plays way up in top lane. That's going to give SBE a big opportunity, and they are going to immediately go for that dragon.
The Crazy Play. Look, he's on Lulu. He has the whimsy, but he's not going to react
teleport
fast enough.
Coming down. Shockwave comes in. SBE locks up Athena. There's a kill. Sasin able to get away from the fight. Knock up onto Totoro. Now he's going to back away. Gets trapped up. Gets taken down. That's a double kill now for Nuclear. Crazy Play arrives a bit late. I don't think he wants to be there now, and it looks like this dragon will go over to SBE without too much trouble. A little bit of a miscommunication by Ever, I think, there, as the teleport came in, canceled, and then there wasn't really a lot they could do to stop SBE from taking the dragon.
I think you're mincing your words, though. A massive mistake from Crazy Play. The moment that he had to cancel that teleport, Athena was in such an advanced position, already started a fight, which was always going to be 4v5 at best from an Ever perspective, and they were really punished for not being able to group despite having all their summoners up as the dragon was prepped.
Yep, and Sol is able to 1v1 Crazy Play, it looks like now as well. He's gotten enough MR that, well, maybe I spoke too soon. He was doing okay earlier.
I mean, the mana pool is going to be the big issue here for the
I
Lulu.
suppose.
She's one of those situations where she's chipping away at the Shen, but she's going to chip away at her mana pool faster than she can ever kill the tanky ninja.
Well, that's the thing, is a laning Lulu really is a bit of a mana hog unless you pick up something like an Athene to sustain it, but you really don't have that kind of luxury with this top lane Lulu.
Yeah, the Rod of Ages is a fine choice for mana pool, but it's not ideal, and a lot of the power was shifted away from the health and mana towards the ability power.
Well, it's good for mana pool, but not good for mana regen, which is what Lulu really needs in that solo lane.
Definitely a mana hog, but they're looking for pure ability power. It's all about the big wild growth onto either the Kog'Maw or the Diana. I hypothesized the Diana just given the fact they picked a melee scrapping champion over a more utility-based mid lane, or even in fact Lulu herself in the mid lane. But Diana's finally getting the split push on. She still has her teleport. Shen's being sent to answer it though, and has teleport, and soon to be Stan United. So this is the intriguing spot. What does the Diana versus Shen split push look like?
Good question. Find out shortly, I think.
Shen's going to feel fortunate that the Spirit Visage doing double duty against both his lane opponent Lulu and the Diana.
That is very true. We do have Flaw getting closer and closer to well, he's got the Aegis already.
And Locket coming
yeah,
eventually,
right.
You'd expect.
Yep.
Still expect Diana to do good things. She's 2 levels above the Shen, so isn't a good spot to scrap. It's just Diana's all about pressuring turrets. And it's difficult to do because if you get taunted under melee range under a turret, you are going to lose that trade to the Shen.
Yep. That's classic Shen, though, right? You never get that close to a Shen under turret. It's not safe.
And now that Shen's often maxed the E second, it's on such a short cooldown that you can even make a mistake and still punish them under turret. So it's going to be trading farm Shen onto a Diana, and I guess forever it's a very small victory, but still. You prioritize farm onto Diana over that of the tanky Shen.
Yeah. And I know Shen really well now because I've been him. I've been Shen.
Do you feel like you've really inhabited Shen to the point where you understand his mindset? Why does he crab walk, Noah?
Because it's more comfortable. You know how there's like method acting where you really like become the role. That's I'm like Monty and I are method casting now. We wanted to become Shen. We wanted to feel what it's like to be Shen, to walk that crab walk, to be really obvious whenever we go someplace.
Why are you such a bad ninja, Doa?
Because it's more about saying, hey, we're going to blow open your stereotypical thoughts about ninjas. We're going to change your perception of what a ninja is and what a ninja does. Ninjas don't need to hide in the shadows.
So what you're saying is like postmodern art or some sort of like...
That's right. We're breaking the mold when it comes to ninjas. We Shens, like Monty and I. Teleport canceled by Athena this time.
Ye two Shens.
That's right. Us 2 Shens.
That does sound like a Lifetime movie.
It sounds like a sitcom that I'd love to be in. Coldplay in a little bit of trouble. Has to burn that flash to escape.
You said Coldplay.
Coldplay, I did. It's crazy place.
Coldplay's in a little trouble. I think they're doing fine, though, actually.
Yeah, they've been pretty popular since like the early 2000s, I think.
Coldplay, Jungle Ryan, Flo.
It's really tough, dude.
It's the last OGN League of Legends broadcast of the year.
New names are annoying.
Athena's getting pushed on very heavily here. This will be the last of the outer turrets, all 6 down, but everybody up for 5.
Coldplay. Did I just spoil the ban for Worlds? Oh, whoops, so did I just say that? Oh, no. Turret going down. And it's turret. It's even up between Spenu and Ever right now, 3 apiece. And that is not something that Ever really wants.
Definitely not ideal, but I mentioned a couple of times there is quite a similar identity in the late game. The damage is very similar. A lot of the damage on Spender is gated around hitting that perfect shockwave. If you miss it, it's going to be an issue. You're still smirking over there, Dylan.
Coldplay. It's one of those days.
It does feel like one of those days.
Yep. Not gotten a lot of sleep. All right. Well, Flaw is going to try to provide a little bit of pushing back in this lane, as you'd expect Rek'Sai can do. He does have his Locket done now as well, so he can provide that utility in team fights, which is going to be very helpful against such a heavy amount of magic damage from Ever.
Still have the Kog'Maw doing, at this point, mostly physical damage. The magical damage, obviously, the big factor in the first 20 minutes or so, but 2 into 3 items. The physical damage starting to ramp up. Infinity Edge is the big pickup. If we're still talking about a line ball game, 1,000, 2,000 gold between the teams, when Kog'Maw achieves Infinity Edge, that's when Ever, with their double globals, with the fact that they have heal and support for this Kog'Maw, should really get going.
He's a long way away from that, though. Getting that Last Whisper pretty quick. Do you think he needed that? I mean, only Soul really has armor right now.
I agree, it's a bit of a questionable purchase. Sometimes you just feel the efficiency of that 14, 15 gold buy is up there, but yeah, I don't know if that's really incentivized.
Well, Spenu going for this dragon. They pull it out of the pit. And will Ever be able to stop them? They're in position. They can fight this. Soul waiting for a chance to come down with that Sand United. Dragon taken by Ryan. Nice play there. Gets out. Wild Growth used to keep him alive. Secret comes in to protect his jungler. And a good Dragon steal from Ever, responding, I guess, to the steal from Flaw in game 1.
And Soul doesn't even have an objective he's able to pull down with all the time in top. You saw he was even moved away from the minion wave just to get the exact perfect Stand United in. Nice steal from JG Ryan does buy them a reprieve. Those 6% stats mean a whole hell of a lot more at 31 minutes than they do when you rush a Dragon early.
Absolutely they do, yeah. And that was really quite the break for Ever.
Forever and ever?
Forever and ever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever.
There's no more gold, though, for the Infinity Edgeless Kog'Maw. In fact, Boots won Kog'Maw. I think you need to prioritize Boots on Kog'Maw when your positioning is everything about the champion. Maybe Whimsy can get you through a lot of hairy moments.
Well, preferably through your third item, yeah.
It's a lot of gold to get Boots to an Infinity Edge. We've mentioned it a couple of times. That's why I'm saying, 6, 8, 10 minutes down the line when that item is finished, if it still looks like this, I do like the game forever.
Well, I will like League of Legends forever as well, but this particular game, I don't know. These guys cannot get into champions. It would be too much to deal with this name for a whole season.
Yeah, it'd feel like forever.
Oh, man. Well, tier 2 taken by Spenu. Nice ball positioning by Saucin, creating a wall that Ever really couldn't go through.
Soul just continues to push, has not had to use either of his summoners or his ultimate, in fact, any of his globals anytime recently. Just a mistake from Ever. They've been so smart at sending their lane assignments, but they haven't had that down on split push duty for quite a while. It's actually been Lulu who's been favored in the bot lane. Need to get Diana in a split push situation. She can easily take Nuclear in a duel, barring a significant outplay from Nuclear. So set up that situation where you can take advantage of this Diana, who's been split push ready. Nashor's Tooth finished for at least 10 minutes now.
Yeah. Zhonya's the most recent purchase, I believe, for that Diana.
Nashor's Tooth comes second. It means split push time. When the Zhonya's is completed, it means complete flexibility for the Diana.
If you look at the wards again, too, on the map, Ever just has not been able to get in there and do much deep warding.
And that's despite the fact they have 2 Sightstones, including a Ruby Sightstone and double warding totem.
Yeah.
Where are these wards just staying in the bank?
Either that or they're getting destroyed right away. It's tough to say. I haven't been watching the minimap closely enough to watch when every ward goes down, but I would say it's probably because Ever just isn't really getting a chance to get into that side of the map.
It's one of those situations where there's a decent amount of blue wards on the map. They just don't really provide that much information. They need deeper vision than what they have. Only the pink ward is really as deep as his early game should have provided, as we're seeing the sick tank wars at the side lane.
Yeah, that pink ward in the bottom jungle for Ever, rather. No, the blue one I'm talking about. The blue-pink ward. That just went down. Ryan was able to sneak in there and take it. But I don't know if it's in the most useful spot. They're going to try to push this mid lane. That's the plan. That's why he needed that flanking ward down. But will Spenu allow this? They can still kind of bait Baron as well, too, and make that a bit of an issue for Ever to deal with.
In game 1, Ever was forced onto the Corki instead of a hyper carry, despite picking a comp that basically screamed hyper carry. I almost said scrimped. That's not a word.
Script. It's kind of like, that means like you're really like trying to save things, sort of.
Look, they were forced onto Corki, and they obviously didn't look comfortable with a Corki comp. Now they run another comp they haven't traditionally run the last few weeks, this 1-3-1 split pushing comp, and they're just not getting any value whatsoever from their Diana with teleport. So it's really on them to take advantage of this comp. Otherwise, you wonder, why did they bother drafting it? Because they could have gone for a control mage in mid. The pool was hit a little bit with the likes of Victor Ban, but they could have just gone for a control mage, run stereotypical Juggernaut. This is pretty much the bread and butter of Ever, and they would have been fine. But it's an active comp they've picked, one with double teleports, and we really haven't seen any advantages gained from this teleport. Remember, they got 3 out of turrets very early, 18 minutes.
Yeah.
And the next 17 minutes, they haven't picked up a single turret. In fact, they've lost a turret in that situation with double teleport.
Well, I mean, it's another team that really does thrive on winning in the early game. And when you play against a team that's just simply better than you, like a Spenu seems to be outclassing these guys in every way, suddenly that idea, that strategy to win in the early game or win through that mid-game split pushing, it just really doesn't work, you know?
The Diana is so strong. Okay, doesn't have a Void Staff, so it'll be a bit of a lame duck fight with Soul, but he still will win the extended engages there. And you've got Lulu, who does have good pushing potential, so one of them should be free hitting on an inner turret, and they just haven't been able to set that up.
Now the next Dragon. Dragon number 4 up in about 40 seconds. Spenu definitely wants this one, I would imagine, as does Ever.
Are we allowed to have a fight where there's less than 10 summoners available?
Yeah, probably. Not this time.
Feels like they've been at a premium this game.
Okay, Ever taking a good position around the Dragon Pit right now. We'll see if they can get this.
I mean, it's not really a big issue for Speno. They're not worried about the second Dragon coming down forever.
Not a lot.
So.
It's more about keeping the third away from Spenu, you know?
And they can just walk towards Baron, and then you just can't really take this Dragon if you're Ever. You already have Shen creating map pressure.
Oh boy, they're going to come in, ball on a nuclear to keep him safe a little bit. Ever immediately fleeing towards the Dragon Pit. Soul is ready to come in with his ultimate, with his teleport if he needs to.
Let's be clear. Diana needs to be walking to this minion wave and split pushing in the bot lane, because they're just allowing Soul, despite the fact they have double teleport, to boss them around.
Yeah, and they're going to go for a Baron. They're saying, all right, go ahead and take the Dragon. We're going to go for this Baron. Ever needs to stop this right now. They're coming in. Can they prevent this Baron from going down? Spenu taking it. Teleport being used by Athena right now. Baron already taken. They're going to have to run away. Athena has to cancel the teleport. Not able to make anything happen. And now they're not even able to get to that Dragon instead. They're going to just go mid lane. Looks like they might trade a tier 2, but Spenu has already taken it. Recall's used as Spenu just keeps pushing with that Baron buff.
Just woeful map movement from Ever. They're really being exposed. They're trying to play a rotational comp despite the fact they weren't really known for it in the challenger scene, and they were caught with their pants down and then some. They even brought extra pants, though. They had 2 teleports. And it didn't matter, still caught with the pants around the ankle.
Not enough pants. And when you've got that amount of pants around your ankles, you're going to trip all the time.
They stumbled,
just one.
They tripped, they fell on their faces, and now they look silly, Doa.
That's right. It's not a good party.
It's not a good look. In fact, they're just going to creep around Spenu and take an inhibitor, because why not?
Yeah, well, again, it's like, go ahead and take the Dragon. We're just going to get the inhibitor. That was a tricky little move by Spenu to back into the jungle and then come right back.
And of all dragons, it is the saddest dragon to steal in this situation. They got the second dragon. Big whoop.
Yep. Does not feel good if you are Ever, and looks like this game may go a little bit quicker than the last one. We'll see.
So we're not going to see a replay because there wasn't any kills, but that was really smart play from Spender. What you saw is that they created pressure with their Shen, who was split pushing in the top lane. Of course, the lane closest to the Baron, so they had advanced vision. The minions weren't granting any vision in the area. And Spenu knew that at worst they were going to give up a second dragon, but the way to stop the dragon from being an easy objective is to just kite back to the Baron. And of course you have to answer that Baron pressure. This is Baron pressure from a Vayne with Blade the Ruin King, and a good damage coming through from the likes of an Orianna.
Yeah.
And so they kept baiting towards, and eventually Spender said, you're not going to do Baron, but it was a situation where they had a Shen that could walk out of the fog and get a pick, or they could force a fight with the Orianna ball. There were so many tools if they were forced to peel off, but Ever, what they needed to do so much earlier, throw that Diana into their bot lane. There was already a minion wave prepped, and at least punish them with an inner turret, but such indecision, such misfire, and just unfortunately such challenger level play was punished by Spender.
Yeah. And if you look at Loken's items, that guy's never going to get his Infinity Edge. He just went for a Quicksilver Sash now after the BF Sword, and this Kog'Maw is just not going to be doing enough damage.
Why does he have a Quicksilver Sash? No one has ever gotten into the backline ever. What is he scared of? He's 1-0-1. He hasn't even sin damage. His damage taken graph is going to be empty.
Yeah, it's not really a comp that's meant to get back onto this Kog'Maw.
It's PTSD from a previous game, I think, though. He does not need Quicksilver Sash. He needs damage to kill the Shen.
Well, a lot of damage being done to this tier 2, but the siege is difficult. It is a Vayne comp, so it's going to take Spenu a little while to get through this turret. Maybe not too long after all, though.
I'm sad, Noah. I'm sad about this game. This has been the poorest use of double teleport I have ever seen.
It's pretty rough, man. Yeah, I've definitely not made it work. It looks like this comp's just a bit beyond Ever right now.
It's one of those execution-heavy comps where you need to understand the macro game. They were exposed on a macro stage in Game 1, and then They went more macro, and man, it's looking painful.
Yeah, it is.
Loken's not doing any damage to Floor.
No, he's actually not.
This is a 400 CS Cogmore that can't do damage to a Rek'Sai, who has one armor item. He has a Warden's Mail.
It's pretty rough. Yeah, and about a 5,000 gold lead now for Spenu, but it's more about the map pressure they put on. I mean, we just saw the vision. There's barely any wards anywhere of note for Ever right now.
Well, there's plenty in the inventories and the 4 button.
Yeah,
four
that's true.
buttons, you know, they got plenty of wards from the double warding totem, Ruby Sightstone and regular Sightstone, but don't know what they're warding though.
You know, the one hope that Ever has is if they have a super late fight where Athena is able to use all that power he's built up, get a ton of kills, and then they can just take objectives. But that's a pretty big expectation for a fight out of Ever right now.
It's a tall order.
Yeah.
That being said, for some reason he threw away 1250 gold on the QSS. He does have a BF sword, so it's 2250 gold to complete an Infinity Edge from just a BF sword. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, it's very, very delayed, but an Infinity Edge does change these fights. Look at the KT Rolster team that won that epic late game fight against KOO to actually secure their spot in the final series right at the tail end of the summer season. An Infinity Edge Cogmore on top of what he's already put together with Lulu in his pocket can win them a fight.
Sure. Certainly can. 2 minutes until both Baron and Dragon coming up almost nearly identically. It's a nice little edge for Spenu, as they can kind of just take whatever they want. You know, whatever Ever isn't prioritizing, they can just go for it.
I mean, no one's prioritizing a third Dragon. It's not a 5th Dragon versus Baron situation. It's a 3rd Dragon. The 5% move speed's nice. Of course, movement speed, a very hard stat to itemize into.
Could you make an argument that the 3rd Dragon is important for Spenu because they need to get close to that 5th Dragon just in case the Kog'Maw does get powered up? Need a way to fight back?
I mean, look, it's important to pick it up, but when you're actually equating it towards Baron, or the fact that at 43 minutes a death is a 45 to 50 second death timer, it's just not really important in the grand scheme.
It's true. Soul dodges the death sentence there. With that taunt. Yeah, Logan's just not doing damage right now.
I mean, Nucleus...
Not a lot. Well, he does some to Secret.
Nucleus is certainly the one that's been the smartest, and he's got the Infinity Edge, has gone to finish a Spectre's Cowl, but both these AD carries have not died. There's been 8 kills this game, and they were, what, mostly 25 to 30 minutes ago. It's been a very low kill count game. That's why we're so surprised at the quick QSS, but Infinity Edge is coming. It might be right now, it's hard to say, but 435 CS. If he has Infinity Edge, this game turns.
It certainly could be. I mean, the inhibitor is back forever right now as well, and there's the IE done for Loken. Got the Infinity Edge right before Dragon and Baron come. This is pretty crucial for Ever if they want a chance to win this game.
Infinity Edge with a Lulu, it's probably getting close to 40% CDR. Going to have to mostly be runes, given the fact that he only has CDR boots, but still, a big chunk of AP. They have Aegis on their jungler. Lee Sin provides disengage. Thresh provides disengage and engage. If Loken lives through a fight, it should be a one-team fight forever, even though Vayne is the hyper carry on the opposite side.
We'll see what happens. Spenu threatening that Baron right now. Trying to get some wards down. Trying to save the vision. And Solon's coming from the side. Oh, they caught Loken a little bit. Nearly got him with that shockwave, and he's in big trouble. Oh, he backs away. Nice wild growth. Loken in a great position to do a lot of damage. Secret comes in, not able to make a play. Gonna go down soon. Sol not able to save him. And now Spenu on the disengage. Just like you said, Papa Smithy, that Kog'Maw is really starting to go off. It was close, but they kept him alive, and he did damage.
It certainly did damage. The thing about Spenu is they're so front-loaded on burst from the Orianna. Their consistent damage cannot compare to the auto attacks from Diana and the Kog'Maw. Now the inhibitor is exposed. They're trying Baron.
This Baron is still a bit exposed as well. Spenu could try to seal that Sasson coming from the side. Baron low, and Sasson steals the Baron! Crucial steal for Spenu. Ever wins a team fight, but they can't take the Baron. That hurts.
I mean, I thought it was embarrassing yesterday where a Dragon was stolen with a volley. It's not much better when the Baron is stolen with just a command attack and dissonance from Orianna.
They're going to get that 3rd Dragon as well, too. Keeping the objective pressure on.
And Sarsen, he's one of those guys you could count on from Spender. We're going to see the replay. Let's wait for it. Let's watch the timing here.
Oh,
he
this
has
is so
the
rough.
pink ward. Why didn't they clear the pink ward? It was sitting right there. He should not have had any information. To not clear the pink ward and not ward behind with, once again, let's reiterate, Ruby Sightstone, double warding totem, and a double Sightstone. They couldn't put a ward behind, and they don't clear a pink. You deserve to lose the Baron if you're Ever.
Oh, I agree completely, and it's tough for Ever too, because that entire huge effort just to take down Secret, to get that 5v4 to open up the Baron possibility, and then it gets stolen by Orianna.
Just rookie mistakes, you know? That's the only way to put it.
Yep. Totally agree.
It's an oldie but a goodie. They've made some really big mistakes, and they've been punished by Spender in some of the most unlikely fashions, like a command attack dissonance Baron stick.
Yeah, he didn't even use Shockwave or anything.
Nope.
It's pretty amazing. Well, pushing down there, small trap set up by Ever. I don't think that Spenu's going to fall for it, though. Nope.
Draws out the Scrying Orb, so that's down on cooldown. Shen's going to continue his split push mission.
Man, and Spenu getting both of those objectives, getting Dragon and Baron, when they both came up at the same time, that should not have happened.
If I shake my head anymore, I'm going to get a bit of brain freeze, though, so...
I thought you get like whiplash or something.
Yeah, well...
Does your head get colder when you shake it?
It does.
You're like one of those like chemical like ice packs or something, and you like shake it.
It's been a long day, though, and it's only game 2.
It has. Well, Spenu pushing in, trying to make this Baron buff work. They've taken this inhibitor already once. Can they do it again? Soul split pushing down in bot lane.
It's a strange window, but of course with the Baron buff minions, actually Shen is able to outpush Lulu. Lulu has wonderful wave clear, but so much harder when we're talking about Baroned up minions. So as long as the Baron buff stands, Shen's split push is going to be pretty decent in the bot. You can see it's been super effective.
Yeah, he gets the inhibitor turret nearly. I think the cannon minions, yeah, they've got enough to do it.
Shen has a Guardian Angel as well. Good luck doing damage to that Shen. Kog'Maw can certainly do it, but
he's got a Thorn Mail, so he's going to be able to do doing a lot of damage to himself at the same time.
The return damage is there. Of course, the armor scaling for damage exists much more. There's a lot less flat values, but actually in this situation where he only has 2 armor items, it's probably less than old Thornmail values, but he's item capped now, and a lot of members of this game are hitting that 6-item range.
Yeah, Athena went down to stop that split push for a moment, but had to go back to base. We'll see what he picks up. Meanwhile, that inhibitor taking a little bit more damage. I feel like Spenu could be a bit more aggressive right now.
Let's go to the Kog'Maw, which is...
I suppose you need to be a little bit.
A little bit of a worrying sign, and honestly, the split push mission, they've already got 2 exposed inhibitor. There's potential that they can just out-rotate an Ever team that's been caught with its pants down multiple times.
Well, it looks like they might get the 3rd inhibitor turret, too.
Yeah, it's very, very low, as you mentioned. It will heal up, but...
not if it's down completely.
The team with Shen, Rek'Sai, Orianna, Vayne, and Braum are somehow out 1-3-1 in the team with Diana, Lulu with double teleport.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Nope.
Man, that mid turret is so low, too. If they grouped up in mid, they could probably just poke it down.
Soul's actually going to get a little bit of free time. With the changes in the Key Strike passive having a shorter internal cooldown, you actually do good damage to those inhibitors if you're given enough time. Diana has the teleport in about 5 to 6 seconds, so you can go answer the split push now. Honestly though, when you're talking about in the base, where obviously you can see on the mini-map, not much distance, if you engage a fight, the teleport timer, 3.5 seconds is actually just about as long as it is to walk over, so the teleport is not actually a big factor. The Stand United Shield is a much bigger factor when it comes to the travel time than any sort of summoner spell use.
Well, with that Mercurial Scimitar pickup for Loken, we've got a 6-item Kog'Maw now, and normally that would be something to be terrified of, but if you're losing Barons to Orianna, Ever is certainly looking a lot less threatening in general than a team usually would in this situation.
And short of a Elixir of Wrath from being item capped completely, so Kog'Maw's not going to get any stronger, and there's still items to be picked up on some of these members. Orianna's still an Elixir Large Rod item, probably a Zhonya's short of a full build. Of course, Braum and Thresh have plenty of items to go. 6 items is hit on Diana, gone for a bit of a cheaper build, I believe, but I mean, maybe not, because these CS players, it's 525 CS on Diana.
Yeah.
2 members over 500. This has been farm heavy to a fault, you have to think. This is Spenu, a team that's played well given the situation, but still it's not attuned to closing out games against a team that's made their mistakes.
We've definitely seen weaknesses on both sides, and wow, decent amount of damage through the shield for Secret. Could be worse though, and Ever trying to bulldoze their way down this mid lane.
5v5s is the only way they can do this. They've been out split push, they've been out rotated. It's crazy to think with double teleport they have to do this, but they're going.
Wow, Loken so fast too. Juggermaw is certainly online now. That turret taking a lot. Spinner needs to go for this. Oh, they may just lose their turret here.
Spinner's just watching.
I know, they're not doing anything about it. And that turret amazingly is still alive for now.
Not for much longer with the immense range from Kog'Maw. He still has flash, so he's not worried about the threat of the Ariana ball. And you're seeing kind of the flaw in this comp is that Shen can't taunt the Kog'Maw. He'll just use the QSS. Oriana's going to have a very tough time hitting him, and damage isn't there unless Vayne somehow gets onto the Kog.
Yeah, we'll see. Athena moving up, trying to find a target for that Q. And Spenu pushing this mid lane back just a little bit.
6-item Kog'Maw's doing a lot of work. They're waiting for another minion wave. It's still far away.
Now Dragon is up, and Baron is coming up in about 15 seconds as well, too. So that's something to think about as well. If Ever loses a fight, they're going to lose a lot more than just a couple people. Wow, big damage from Saucin there.
They have to back away. It's going to take a while. There's no Bloodthirster on this Kog'Maw. Only has the 10% lifesteal, so isn't going to heal up that fast because they still have a lot of defensive utility.
Oh, crazy play. Can't take the Lantern to escape.
They really don't want Spenu outmaneuvering them. Remember, they have the fast track on this last inhibitor, and they also have a massive minion wave pushing on the exposed inhibitor.
Do you just give up the Baron maybe to kill the inhibitor or two back home? It's dangerous.
No correct answer to a question like that. It's very difficult to choose between the two options. Athena does find a place to port, so the Diana will be able to go back, and they have a minion wave prepped.
Yeah, and with Athena there, they need to go for it. They need to go fast. No, they don't quite catch Loken, but they do catch Totoro. They're going to take him out right now. Ryan very low as well. Kicks Flaw back in. Nice shockwave. Actually doesn't do a whole lot. Athena in the middle of the back lines, though. So low. Zonia saves him for the moment. Nuclear really low, too. Loken still plenty of health, and Loken able to get a kill. There we go. Ever taking the fight. 3 kills now for them. Nuclear on the run, and Spenu in big trouble with those death timers.
And that teleport is going to be coming in aggressively. Crazy play takes the minion wave they prepped earlier. This was good minion control from Ever. They're certainly going to break the base.
This could be the game right now with everyone coming through. Only Nuclear and Soul to defend. I think this is it, guys. So with that apocalyptic team fight at the end, Loken able to get powered up enough to take down Spenu. They should be able to close it out.
Shen provides absolutely nothing in the situation. Sold the Sunfire Cape, has no AoE wave clear. Okay, takes a long time to kill, but he's going to have to watch as his base dies.
That's right, there goes Nexus turret number 2. Still a lot of time before anyone else comes back. Nuclear trying to get around to the side to do some damage. They're going to find him. Athena takes a lot of poke, but manages to get the kill. And there goes the Nexus. We are tied up 1-1. Ever staying alive in their chance to get in the Champions Spring.
You see the power of the comp. You see the power of a 6-item Kog'Maw. The game changed on an Infinity Edge completion, but man, the strategic play was completely out the window. Ever caught so many times. Smart rotational play from Spenu, but when all was said and done, when Spenu couldn't find that big difference despite having 2 inhibitor turrets down, 6-item Kog'Maw killed everyone.
Spenu just seemed incapable of closing out that game for whatever reason. That was a bit odd.
Remember, they didn't have much siege at all, but they had 2 inhibitor turrets down. Both these teams had problems rotating.
I guess.
Let's set about that game the better, I think, though.
It was certainly an awkward game, but we'll see what happens.